Now let's see if we can really start linking some rumors here, okay? I'm going to use my same kind of stats to hopefully try and find us a deal, okay? Does that sound good? First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the standings again, and I'm going to go overall. I don't even care, because I'm not looking at teams that are making the playoffs. I'm looking at who's doing the absolute worst in the league, right? Now, we know some of the top ones already. We know, like, Arizona and Montreal. But there's also Seattle and Buffalo and stuff like that, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, let's take a look here. I doubt Montreal's going to give us anything. I really do. I think they're just too stubborn. So I don't think we're going to get anything from Montreal. I'm going to skip them. Let's go to Arizona, though, okay? So, if I come to current team, and I put it to Arizona Coyotes, right? And then update the results. There we go. Now I just got the Coyotes. And this is what I mean. This is why people don't understand this stat, right? They think that, like, there's no context to it, that it's just the same for every team. It's not meant to have, like, that's the high end of plus minus and that's the low end of plus minus. It's keeping players relative to each other. It automatically adjusts for bad teams and good teams. You just have to, in your mind, remember that. So, you know what I mean? Like, you look at Arizona, they're a bad team right now. There's not going to be much success there. There's going to be good players that have bad ratings right now because as a whole, they are not putting it together and it's bringing each other down, right? They're all bringing each other down. So, right off the bat here, if we were to look at Arizona, they got a guy, left wing or center, left-handed, Liam Obrien. He's a +3 on the Arizona Coyotes right now. He's only played 32 games, so he hasn't played them all, unless they're behind in their games somewhat. Right? Unrestricted free agent at the end of the season. All right? $750,000. $750,000. That's league minimum. Who is this guy? How old is he? How is he doing this? He's maintaining a +3 on Arizona Coyotes. Divas, you're saying they could use Hall and try to get Manson at 50% retained? I mean, maybe. But again, like, isn't Anaheim going to go for it, though? Like, I think they would want to go for it. Bro, you're saying I heard a rumor the other day that makes no sense. It was Chandler Stevenson to the Wild, but I don't remember what they were offering. Who's Chandler Stevenson? Where is he coming from? Who is he playing for? I don't know, man. I can look him up in a second, though. But let's look at Arizona here, okay? So, like I said here, this is what I would look for Arizona. I would look at Liam Obrien and figure out what's going on with him, right? +3 on a horrible team, $750,000 for the cap hit, right? Played most of the games. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a lot of point production or anything like that, though, right? So it's not like he's only got 3 points. 3 points and he's a +3. You know what I mean? That's kind of good. Now that I'm looking at that, I like that. That's pure point efficiency. 100% point efficiency. 3 divided by 3, right? 3 divided by the ±3. So, hey, not so bad, man. Not so bad for that guy. Now, to show you the flip side of that, if I look at who's the bottom of the team, right? Who's the bottom of the team? You got, with 35 games played, a left defenseman known as Jacob, was this Chitrin? Chitrin? I don't even know how you pronounce that, but I've heard this guy's name be brought up so many times in the last little bit. The Leafs need to get this guy. The Leafs need to get this guy. He's coming in at 4.6 mil, okay, with a -29 on Arizona. A -29. Points are only 10. So, yeah, I know his stats are going to be brought down by the fact that he's playing for Arizona, but I'd want to know how much of that is also him as well. Right? It's a tough thing to play well on a bad team. That's mental toughness. That's another intangible that people don't measure. There's no way to outright measure it, but I think if you do something like this, I think if we look at Liam Obrien, I think we'd find something there that's worth looking at for $750,000, right? Pure point efficiency. You know? Okay, so you're saying Chandler Stevenson plays for Vegas. Okay, so let's look at Vegas for a second. Because Vegas is making a run too, right? Like, what's their thing at? Vegas is, number one in the Pacific. So, you know, they don't have anybody to move, really. Like, you don't have to make any moves when you're sitting pretty in your division like that, right? You might want to, but you're not under any pressure. You can roll in the playoffs with that team, and it's reasonable to expect that they could win it, right? Have a decent chance at it. So that's Arizona right there. Okay, that's what I would look at there. Who else was near the bottom there? Who else is near the bottom? Arizona, Montreal, Seattle. Seattle's looking for draft picks, right? Aren't they always looking for draft picks because they're still new? That's the way they wanted to form their team. All right, so let's look at Seattle then. Let's see who we can steal up for a draft pick or two. Okay. All right, so we're updating the results here. Who's this? Who's this? A left defenseman named Carson Soucy. Soucy? I don't know. Carson Soucy? Left defense. +7 on a horrible team. Right? 2.75 mil. So he's, you know, he's not cheap, but he's not up there by any means. That's still relatively good. Position left defense. Right? Another lefty, which you can train them to play the right side, man. You can train them. There's some advantages to that. That's how you get those nice cross the blue line one-timers, right? You have a left-hander on the right side so that when you cross that blue line, they're pivoting and they're ready to go for a one-timer because it's going to come right across. You know, you sacrifice a little bit of defensive coverage because it is a bit more difficult to not be a righty on the right side. But what you sacrifice in that, right, you gain in one-timer offensive ability if that's your style. You got to know what kind of team you have, right? So, I would look at this guy. I'd want to know what's going on here with this guy. You might be able to pick him up nice. And if not, right underneath them, right, you got another bunch of beauties. You got a guy coming in at $725,000, Austin Charnick, I don't know, something like that. He's a center, right? You got, who's this down here? Coming in at $850,000. Riley Sheahan, right? He's a +3 with only 6 points. So he's getting 50% on the efficiency. That's pretty good. Games played 33. He's played most of them. If not, yeah, most of them. It looks like they've played 45 already. You know? So who's that guy? Riley Sheahan. Left wing. And the thing is, we might not even need a left winger. Fine. You steal him up right now. You take him now. And you flip him to some other team where you can get something else that they need, right? If you find out that a team is looking for left wingers, but you don't want to give up any of your left wingers, then this is what you do. You use somebody you want to get rid of, something you can expend. You snatch up a left winger from a team for cheap, right? That even they don't know about, and then you pitch it to them, flip it, and see what you can get. Right? Like, there's a lot of ins and outs to this stuff. It's crazy, man. I could not be a GM. Some of you probably listening to my ideas for picks here, and you're like, yeah, no duh. Like, you can't be a GM. All right, so let's look at Vegas here. You wanted to look at Vegas for a second because I had that guy you talked about, right? Vegas Golden Knights. Let's look at this guy. Okay? Update results. So, you're saying leading scorer, right? Is that for goal? That's just goals, right? Not points? No, you must have meant points, right? Yeah, Chandler Stevenson, right? By the way, thank you for saying leading scorer, because that is technically the term for the most points, right? People think it's always the most goals. That's why I get confused when people say it to me. But technically, you said it right. Vegas is leading scorer. Scorer is supposed to mean points. I believe. Chandler Stevenson. Center or left wing, left-handed, right? I guess all the centers pretty much are also a winger somehow. He's a +3 only, and he's got 38 points. 38 points, comes in at 2.75 mil, right? This is one of those undecided ones. I definitely got to know more about this. I'm not sure I would look into this guy if I had better options. You know what I mean? I might not. If there's something else that was more blatantly obvious to me, something glaring at me in the face, I might have to snatch that up instead of this guy. But looking at it, just being like, okay, well, you know, he's getting used a lot for sure. You know that's happening. Time on ice is like about 19 minutes per period for center there. You know, he's getting used. He's getting used a lot. So he's going to be out there. He's going to be exposed. He's going to give up some points that, you know, aren't his fault. He's going to be gaining a couple that he never really deserved. You know what I mean? So you just kind of got to see if you could get a good deal for a guy like that if you needed him. But I don't think the Leafs need a center or left wing at all. So I wouldn't worry about him for the Leafs. That's for sure. But if somebody else wanted him, I mean, obviously he sounds like a pretty good player. But again, that's theoretically if Vegas wasn't actually getting rid of anybody. We know that they are clearly going to hang on to their top players as they are the top in their division right now. So that's a hypothetical, okay, guys? You know what I mean? All you trade rumor folks out there, don't take that seriously, okay? Or do you take it seriously? I don't know. Controversy, guys. We're creating rumors tonight. What other rumors are we going to talk about? Pacific Division is weak, eh? First doesn't mean a lot. Ooh, bring back McCann. I don't even remember him. I know the name, but I need to see what the guy looks like, and I probably remember. Pacific definitely isn't the greatest, but I feel like they could still make a run. Yeah, I mean, look, guys, a chip, a chair, and a prayer, right? That's the old poker saying, right? If you're in the playoffs, okay, you've got a ticket to the ball. You're there. You immediately are giving you are given 1 out of 16 chance of winning the cup at that point. It all starts fresh, man. Anything that happened before the playoffs doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? Rivalries, whatever else, whatever happened before you got there does not matter. Now you just have to win, 16 of the best games you've ever played. And that's it. 4, 8, 12, 16. That's all you got left. You know? So there's a whole new confidence, a new swagger that comes out in teams. There's also a collapse and an apprehension, perhaps, what you say. I don't know. You know, holding back because they're afraid, nervous, that kind of stuff. That can happen to teams in the playoffs, right? We've seen it, so it's okay, right? The playoffs are just a completely new thing. So yeah, I don't care how weak a division is. If you earn the right to be in the playoffs, you got a chance at that cup, man. You got a chance. You at least got to believe that if you're one of the athletes, right? Like, what are you going to do? Say otherwise? I would love to be Dubas assistant during trade season. I want to just see, you know, those videos that they did, the all or nothing stuff? Like, just follow Dubas around, man. Why do I need to watch fictitious characters like make trades like on the movies and stuff like that? I mean, that's always exciting to me. I like those kind of movies and TV shows and stuff. Agents and athletes and cutting deals. And I like that side of the business. I really do. I'm just awful at it. I would be a horrible agent and a horrible GM. I have no idea about money value. All right? I have no idea about looking at a player and figuring out like dollar value what he's worth. I can totally admit that. You know what I mean? I have no idea how to read the market and get the best deals you can off of stuff like that. I have no clue. I know hockey strategy and I know hockey players. That's about it. That's about it. I know what I'm looking for in hockey players. You know what I mean? But yeah, so, you know, let's pick one more team and I'll see if I can create another trade rumor before we go. What do you think? Let's do Montreal, actually. Let's do it. That'll make for nice clickbait, huh? When I put up a video about a Montreal Canadian that we're gonna steal because they're dead last. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna click my plus minus, arrange it. Now again, guys, this is a team that's dead last. Dead last. Okay. And when I click it to see who's up in the plus minus, right off the bat, you got like all of their like younger guys, right? Now they got a lot less games played, so we got to ignore a lot of that, right? If we want a fair and accurate representation of someone we could realistically steal up, right? Like, you got to look at games played as well too, right? These players that are, you know, very cheap and all, they're having great starts to their professional careers, so they're still having success. That's why it shows up in the plus minus, right? But they're not the ones we're looking for, right? They haven't been to the big times, right? They haven't done the crazy things yet. Although maybe one or two of these guys has, I don't know. But I'm looking more at guys like Tyler Toffoli, right? Played most of the games so far. He's got 34 in there, right? He's kicking in at a -4 on the dead last team in the league, by the way. Dead last, right? So there's a certain adjustment that must be made there, right? Points is 25. So, you know, even hanging in there at a -4, you know, like to have 25 be the reason, like you get 25 and you're a -4, that means, like, to me, right, what you've actually been on there for is 29 goals against minus whatever little adjustments because of power plays and stuff like that. But as a gauge, you know what I mean? You're like, ooh, that's a lot to be actually down on the ice for. Sure, your 25 points made up for a lot of the mistakes, but you still had at least 29, right? At least 29. But then you look at like his price, and he's coming in at 4.25 mil. So he might be too expensive, right? Both of these guys are wingers anyways. I would look at Lehkonen if you wanted to see if there was a good deal there. Next kind of like serious player that you might actually look at here. Like there's like nobody. Everybody's coming and going all the time, right? So there's no... I mean, their D even is just like... They're so far down. Their D sucks. Their D sucks right now. Nobody's having any success. They're just getting hung out to dry. Other than, like I said, these young guys. And they're not going to trade away prospects at this point. Montreal needs all those guys. They're going to try and dump salary, right? So let me look at the cap hit maybe. Right? Who can we get for cheap? You know, that's not on one of those contracts. I guess Matthew Perreault. But again, a winger. How about Brett Kulak? 1.85. He's a minus 14 though. Jeez. Minus 14. Again, not... dead last in the league, so you got to have some patience with that. I guess minus 14 isn't all that bad, really. Right? He still managed to get 9 points. So this is what I'm talking about, okay? So if he's a minus 14, he's been on for 9 points of his own. Right? That means he's really been on like about 23 against. But that's with his own points, right? Whereas when you look like a minus 4, but they've got 25 or 30 or 35 points, you're like, man, like don't let that minus 4 trick you. They've actually been on the ice for a lot more goals against than just like 4 against, right? You got to think about that. They're working so hard to get their 25 points, and yet they're giving up even more than that. So yeah, bottom line, I'd pretty much stay away from Montreal. Bunch of bums anyways, right? Come on, you knew I had to say it at least once. All right, one more before we go here, I guess. We got Martin Favre. I don't know how you say that. Martin Favre. All right, he's from Washington. All right, let's take a look at this guy. Oh, we're already speaking my language now. He's coming in at under 800,000. You know I like that. Left defense. Oh, how's Washington doing though? How's Washington doing in the standings? Like, aren't they doing pretty well? Yeah, they're top wild card spot. So they're not really gonna want to dump anybody right now of any real value, right? They're gonna be the ones trying to like buy up people and use up draft picks and stuff if they have to. So I doubt we'd even be able to have a chance at this guy, but theoretically, you never know, deals can be made. I'll look at him for you, right? Let's look at him. Where's his stats? Where'd they go? Oh, here we go. So with Washington, he's played 45 games this year, so I'm assuming that's pretty much all of them there, right? He's a plus 18. Ooh, a plus 18 with only 8 points. No. So not only is he only getting 8 points as a left defenseman, but he's actually like helping out and doing other intangible things to help the puck stay out of his end. No way. See, again, now if he had like 28 points and he was a plus 18, then really it would probably be more likely that he's scoring a lot of goals to make up for mistakes. It doesn't mean he's good defensively. And that's why I say a plus minus alone is not a good indicator of if someone is good defensively or not, right? It's more like I don't know. I forgot what I'm saying now. I forgot what I'm saying on that point. But the point is, you look at 8 and 18 like that. So not only is he getting his own points, he's helping out in other ways to get other people points as well. So that's sick. Yeah, he'd be a pretty good guy. No, like I'd want to see I'd always want to see footage of these guys playing. You know what I mean? Before I made any kind of decision. It's great that we found this guy. I love that you used the system there, Thievis, whether you meant to or not. You found a guy that's perfectly like what I would want to look at. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm just saying this is going to be right more times than not. And that's what you got to do, right? Play the odds. If we're talking analytics, we got to play the odds. Odds are we're going to find success in this guy somewhere. We're going to find out something he's doing well. You know what I mean? Could just be an on-bench personality thing. Who knows? Right? Keeping guys happy, keeping guys loose. That's a big deal if it's helping your team. Some teams don't need that, though. Some teams don't respond to that. So you don't want a guy like that. Every team has an identity. It's kind of a life of its own, and you're not in control of it as much as you might think. You're just trying to like feed what you think is going to be the next couple of things into it, but you got to let it bubble, man. You got to let it see how it mixes. You know what I mean? Because something might not come out the way you think, and you got to remove it. Try again. Throw that into the mix now. Oh, okay. It's got a life of its own, a team does, right? It's fluid. It's ambiguous. You know, there's variables. Tons of them. So why are we using such strict, rigid stats to measure it all? I don't understand. Like, do you see what I'm saying? We're going to use strict, rigid, unarguable statistics to measure something that's so fluid and random. There's literally 100 million ways to win a Stanley Cup. Like, there's probably even more than that. So why are you trying to find this thing that you think is the perfect? It's not that. It's fluid, baby. Fluid. All right? Am I making sense here tonight, guys? Do you see my new hippy-dippy way of doing things? Do you see how it's going to go? That's how it's going to go for me, man. That's how it's going to go for me, and I bet you, we're going to find some good deals along the way. We're going to find some interesting stories along the way. Yeah, and I recommend you guys have fun with it too. Find your own interesting things. If they're going to pull out stats of like, you know, last time that the Leafs have won a hockey night in Canada, like who really cares what they say then, right? Now don't get me wrong, that's two different groups of people. The people with like advanced analytics would never do something like throw up the last time they won when it was Taco Tuesday, right? They're not going to do that. I'm just saying though that like, you can make a case for anything. You can make a case for anything if you're convincing enough. You'll have people eating it up. I don't care if the analytics people don't buy into this. I just need people to buy into it because it's real and I believe in it. I really do. I might have it wrong. Like I might have the details and the recipe wrong a little bit, but this is the direction we need to go. Hands down 100%, okay? Mark my words. In order to correctly and tangibly rate something as unpredictable as a hockey team or anything else that's that unpredictable, you need stats that are not black and white, that are not rigid, that are not easy to understand. You know what I mean? It's not just a calculation. You need things that are variable, things that change, things that flow. All right? That's something Chris Cuthbert would say. Who's Chris Cuthbert? Who's Chris Cuthbert? Now I want to look him up too. Who's Chris Cuthbert? You don't mean a player, obviously. I should probably know this guy, don't I? I probably do. I'm just such an idiot, man, especially when I'm online. I'm an idiot. You know? Chris Cuthbert is a Canadian sportscaster. Oh, okay. He's done NHL, Sportsnet, and Hockey Night in Canada and everything like that. Oh, nice. I can never be a color commentator. I could never be, well, maybe a color commentator. I could never be a play-by-play guy for sure. There's no way I could speak that fast and clearly. I'm more like the guest you want to pop in every now and again, like Snoop Dogg when he's down in LA. That's like if I could get on TV for for talking about the Leafs, that's about as far as you'd want me to go, right? Just let me pop in for like 2 minutes during a period, give you a couple sound bites that are gonna go viral, and then I'll get out. And I'll go back to going down to the crowd with my people and just cheering for the rest of the game, right? Making that place loud, man. I'd love to be the in-house arena, in arena entertainment, man. That'd be sick. I'd change that all around, man. No more pumping t-shirts out to people. We're gonna be taunting visiting fans. Right? Like those mascots that got attitude. I love those mascots, man. And that's all I'd really be, is a glorified mascot, you know? Throw me in the arena, give me a microphone in between periods. Yeah, we'll give out some prizes too. I know that's fun, but I'm just saying, that won't be the only thing that's fun. You know? It'll be entertaining. It'll be great. Yeah, he commentates for the Leafs and on Sportsnet. Or for the Leafs on Sportsnet, sorry. Now, if you really wanted to flatter me, though, you would have chosen somebody from TSN. Y'all know I'm a hardcore TSN guy, right? Like TSN are my boys, right? Even that wretched bar down crew that they get in there. I love those guys too, just because they're uniquely TSN. I get it. I get why they're there, man. All of them. Even the one I can't stand, all right? I don't want to say his name because I don't want to feel like I'm picking on him again, right? But you know there's one of those bar down guys that I can't stand, and even I understand why he's on TSN. You know what I mean? He deserves to be there. I get it. He represents a specific population of this hockey fan base in Canada. He deserves to be there. I get it. But it doesn't mean I can't beef with it. It doesn't mean I can't beef with those kind of attitudes, right? That kind of emotion. Darn right I can beef with it. It's fun. So I just wish them all success, everybody out there that's doing this kind of thing. Anybody that's doing this kind of thing, man, at home, on TV, whatever, if you're talking about sports for a living, man, I wish you the most success in the world, because I can't imagine what getting paid a bunch of money, like making this your job would be like. That would be insane, right? Making something like this, those guys you see on Twitch and stuff that like make it as their job. Holy jeez. Can you imagine where I'd push that to? It'd get out of hand for sure. Oh, the internet's not ready for me, man. The internet's not ready for me. Give it a few more years to catch up. Maybe the internet will finally be ready for me. But for now, it's just you guys, you lovely folks that came out and supported me on a surprise night like this. Thank you very much. Always got to appease those algorithms, right? So got to check in with you guys once in a while, right? Even if there's no games. So thanks for being ready for a surprise. I hope you get to witness an awesome surprise by the end of this season with the Leafs, okay? The ultimate surprise. The one that you hope for every year, and you know that it's possible, but just because it's possible doesn't mean it's going to happen. So the one that's a surprise. I hope you all get a nice surprise by the end of the season, all right? Thank you very much, guys.